Hello, SquirrelTribe. So I realize you can't see me there. There we go. So listen, I want to talk to you about something that happened today, not to me, but around me, near me, and could have happened to my sister-in-law. And it's kind of a reminder for women out there, fellas too, obviously, but mainly the women out there to really, truly pay attention to your surroundings. So a lot of you may know that we're in Atlanta. If you saw yesterday's video, you know that we're in Atlanta right now in a hotel room. We came here for a business meeting, and today was said business meeting. And we went and met with some friends and business colleagues and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. And we went to lunch and we had a great lunch, good conversation, food, drinks, all that fun stuff. And then we went next door after lunch and went to a bar area to just have a seat. It's at the Regis. It's a really nice hotel, really nice bar. So we're in there having a drink, having conversation. And my sister-in-law sat at a table by herself, and the rest of us sat on these couches and chairs and we're having a conversation. And my sister-in-law was sitting at a table on her phone trying to figure out how to get into this Zoom version of a graduation for her niece. And she had her purse on the table right next to her. Now, because we've been here so long, you guys know that I am a have your head on a swivel kind of person. I pay attention to everything that's going on around me, and I don't really trust a lot of people, right? So I watch everybody that's in my vicinity because you have to be careful these days, right? And we're in Atlanta, right? So we're sitting there and I see this woman come in, okay? And I'm not gonna say that she's out of place, but she stood out to me. So she comes in and she's wearing all red, nothing wrong with that, but her outfit seemed out of place for where we were. And she walks in and she's looking all around everywhere, looking all around, but doesn't really look like she's looking for someone. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what she's looking for, right? So she's looking all around, then she leaves. And next thing you know, probably about 10 minutes later, this man comes in and he definitely looked out of place. And this isn't me doing that whole judge a book by its cover kind of thing, but it is me noticing that in certain locations, you expect to see a certain type of person, all right? And that can sound however you want it to sound, but if you happen to be in an area or a location where if you were to rent a room there, it's like over $1,000 a night. It's the Regis, right? And the clientele there, generally speaking, are a little more dressed up, a little more affluent, I guess is the right word to use here. And this guy that came in was definitely not that, okay? The first thing I noticed was his hair, which is fine. It's Atlanta. It's Atlanta hair. And I noticed he had on a t-shirt and he had on really baggy jeans and he had on like Birkenstock kind of sandals and he was carrying a backpack. I don't know if I said that part already. He's carrying a backpack, but he walks in and he's looking around the same way the lady in all red was looking around, just looking around, not like he's looking for anybody specific, but just a weird, casing of the place, because that's how I felt when the woman came in. And I was instantly on alert, right? And my very first thought was my sister-in-law's purse is sitting on the table next to her, but she is on her phone, not paying attention to her purse, which we are all guilty of this. It drives me bonkers, ladies. When I go to places like Walmart or Publix, Whole Foods, Target, even all these different places, and you see people pushing their carts around with their purse in the cart, in that top seat where generally speaking, you'd put a toddler. If you had a toddler with you, they have their purse there wide open and they walk away to get something off of the shelf or whatever else, purse just right there. And I'm like, no, you cannot be that. I don't know if the word trusting of people or just oblivious might actually be a better word, not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything, but a lot of times, a lot of people are oblivious to what's going on around them or the things that they are doing that could be detrimental to themselves or their situation or whatever. I'm guilty of it myself. I know I have done this where I've left my phone sitting somewhere or my keys sitting somewhere and I've turned my back to grab something and go right back. I am no different than anybody else, right? But I notice things sometimes. So that drives me bonkers. And so anyway, the guy is walking through the place, looking everywhere, and then he goes and sits down. Okay, so let me explain how this works. So the place is, let's say that it's like this. There's plenty of open seating here. He could have sat here, okay? The door in and out is right here. That in and of itself is assigned to me because he walks all the way over here, sees my sister-in-law sitting right here with her purse on the table, closest to the side of the door, the side that the door is on. And instead of sitting over here, he sits at a table here, which is closest to her purse and closest to the door. And because of the way my brain thinks, I said, this is not going to go good. So then the waitress comes over and hands him a menu. Okay. And he opens it up like he cares and whatever, and then puts it down. My sister-in-law, she is trying to get service on her phone to watch this Zoom graduation kind of thing. And so she gets up, grabs her purse in one hand, her phone is in the other, and she walks out. And my brain went, he's going to get up and follow her. Sure as shit, this man stands up, puts his backpack on, and walks out the door behind her. To which point I stood up, made my way out from our group who was having a conversation. And some people will say, well, why didn't you tell one of the men? Listen, we don't always need a man to save us, okay? I could have saved her myself if necessary. And that's how I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe I'm overthinking things. Maybe it's not that big a deal, whatever. So I get up and I follow her out or him out. And I see that as I go around the corner of the door to go out towards the entrance from the Regis bar area to between there and Chops Lobster Bar is what's right next to it in Atlanta off of West Paces Ferry, whatever. I noticed that she has put her purse on cross-body style. The guy walks out right behind her, and because I'm behind him, I see him look at her purse, realize it's cross-body, and he just keeps walking and then leaves. That man was going to rob her. There is nothing you can do or say to convince me that was not the case. He thought he was going to get the chance to walk up next to her because she's preoccupied on her phone and yank her purse out of her hand and keep going. I think the woman in red that was there first was the case the joint and see if there's anything worth taking. The guy was then the send him in. He's got the backpack on, whatever else. He could hide her purse in the backpack later on and nobody would know he stole somebody's purse. The way he cased the place, sat by the door, sat closest to her purse, got up when she got up. Now, it could have been he was going to get up and go try to like holler at her, like say hey to her, whatever, because she was sitting by herself. You would not know she was with the group that was behind her, meaning me, my brother-in-law, my husband, and the business people we had met with, right? That person wouldn't know this. But this is one of those things where I'm trying to explain to my daughter, you have got to pay attention to everything around you. Do not walk looking down at your phone. Do not sit with your back to the door. I do only when my husband is with me and he's the one facing the door. If it's my daughter and I face the door so I can see everything that's going on, right? We talk about all the time, you want to be able to trust everybody, but unfortunately, there are those warning signs, those red flags that people give off that make it almost impossible for you to have a fully trusting spirit. As much as you may want to, there are too many people who give you reason not to. And then when I saw that man walk in, I did not want to immediately stereotype him or think the worst. But then everything he did played in line with exactly my first thoughts of him. And that sucks, right? It sucks that we can tell when something bad is going to happen. So I followed her out there, right? And the guy kept walking. I get up next to her and I say, hey, listen, I wasn't, trying to like encroach on your space, but I didn't trust that guy. And she goes, yeah, he was really creepy, right? She goes, I noticed him, and she put her purse on sideways. So she saw him too. She knew maybe subconsciously that she needed to have her purse where it couldn't just be taken from her. But then I get out there with her and I send my husband and brother-in-law a message on Facebook Messenger. And I said, hey, listen, I followed her out here just because I didn't trust the guy. Because my husband sent me a text that goes, hey, is she okay? He thought something was wrong with her. He didn't realize that she needed to do a Zoom call thing. So he thought she got up and left because something was wrong and that I followed her out because something was wrong. And I was like, well, technically something's wrong, but it's because I think that guy was going to whatever. And he's like, do you need us? Do we need to come out there? I said, no. He realized he couldn't get her purse and he left. And you will never convince me again that that was not the case, because he never, ever came back by the area. The person in red was never seen again. And I really do think it was 100% casing the joint, because you could see more and more people were walking in and they were looking for a woman by herself. Which is why I tell my mother all the time also, because she is a female by herself. I'm like, when you go out, you have got to pay attention to everything around you, because generally speaking, the type of female that somebody who wants to rob you or cause harm or do whatever is going to go after is a female by herself, especially an older female who probably can't fight back as easily as somebody younger and more able-bodied, which I don't like using those words because it's not like if you're older, you're not able-bodied, but that is the perception that a lot of people get based off of how the older generations are portrayed in movies and life and whatever, right? So I'm always like, you have to pay attention. I believe in 2A. I think everybody should have some sort of protection on them. If you don't believe in 2A and you don't believe in, pew pews and bang bang shoot 'em ups, then you need to have something. You need to have a taser. You need to have pepper spray. You need to have a knife. You need to have a bat. You need to have a alarm, a siren, or something that can cause a very loud commotion and have eyes of like diverted to you from whatever they're looking at. Because unfortunately, there are people out there who, instead of doing things the right way in life and working or, doing the trustworthy things, they would rather do the easy route or the diabolical route and rob people, harm people, steal from people, whatever. And it just sucks that we are it's always been that way. It's not like it's new, right? But it is something that I think as I get older, I find myself paying way more attention to the way people act, the way they look, where their eyes are going, their body language, all kinds of things. And it could be because of being here, on SquirrelTribe and on this channel and all the comments that y'all have left that has made me more aware of things in this world that maybe I might not have really been fully aware of prior to starting this channel, when I was more of a trusting, which I hate to say it like that. I don't want to act like I'm a non-trusting person now, but I'm stingier with my trust when it comes to strangers and situations around me, because the things that we've seen happen in the world, right? But anyway, this is more of a public service announcement just to remind y'all ladies. And again, fellas, you're not, I can never think of the word for this. It's still possible for people to rob you. You're not, what's the word? I hate it when my brain is like, nah, figure it out later. It's fine. It can happen to anybody, but generally speaking, ladies, you've got to pay attention to everything that's going on around you. I'm not saying don't be trusting, but I am saying be very cautious. Pay attention to if you see a group of men or even a group of women that seem shady or too close to you or watching you too hard, following you too closely, things like that. Just really pay attention to your surroundings, especially in today's environment that we are in, where we have to worry about sex trafficking, we have to worry about abductions, we have to worry about all these different things because we see it happening all the time. You've got to really be very cognizant of what is going on around you. So that's that. Thankfully, again, nothing happened to my sister-in-law. It would have been an absolutely awful situation if something had happened. But that's about it. SquirrelTribe, I love you. I will be back home on Saturday, and we'll do some more live streams and jump into the nitty gritty of what's going on in our country and the world. But today and tomorrow, you're probably just going to get random conversation and stories with me, because I really enjoy those kind of things. And where I'm at right now, we're experiencing a lot, so probably have a lot to talk about. So thank you for being here for this. I'd like to know if you guys have ever been in a situation like what I explained today or something like it. Have you been in that situation? Have you felt yourself about to be in a situation that could have gone really bad, and because your gut instincts or those red flags or the hairs on your arm, the back of your neck stood up, and you were able to kind of avert or avoid being in a situation like that? I would love to hear it in the comments, because I think so many people don't realize how many of us, especially females, have been in some sort of situation. A lot of men don't think that it's true. I saw a thing one time that they said men don't believe that every single woman has been sexually harassed at some point in her life. Every single woman has been sexually harassed at some point in her life. Every single woman has felt unsafe at least one point in her life around a male. It's an unfortunate situation, but it's a true one. And so for those of you who have those moments, I'd love to read about them, not to make people relive it, because that's not what I want, but so that the males in the audience that read the comments can see how often it happens, so that maybe they will talk to their wives, talk to their daughters, talk to their sisters and mothers about the need to be cautious and be careful and pay attention to your surroundings and have a way to defend yourself if necessary, right? This whole thing is about helping each other. So let's help each other in the comment section. Besides that, I love y'all immensely. I hope you're having a fabulous Thursday. It is Thursday. Off topic completely, but for those of you who are getting closer to that age of Medicare, remember your annual enrollment period, your AEP, is coming up soon, October 15th through December 7th, I believe. There is a phone number in the pinned comment and in my description if you guys want to give Chapter a phone call. It's 100% free just to kind of go over what you may have Medicare-wise and see if there's something out there that's going to cost you less, because there is nothing worse than throwing your money away on something that's not getting you exactly what you need from your doctors, from your prescriptions, from your whatever else, right? So make sure you guys, if you have a couple minutes, give them a call. It's free. You'll get somebody here in the United States because it is a United States-based company, right? It's here to help the citizens of this great country of ours. But besides that, I love y'all, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye.